Fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. Here with Nicky, here with pro player racket. He's retired now, but he was a very good player, top 30, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Joao Sousa from Portugal.
Yes.
And what is this mold called, do you know?
I actually have no idea.
Yeah.
Is it not the same? I think it's the same frame that Nishikori used to play, no? The 95.
Exactly. But it could be either the N-code version or it could be the Hyper Hammer. So it's the Hyper Hammer 5.2 or it's the N-code, which also Azarenka used.
Yep.
Don't look like I'm too nerdy. Azarenka used, Kei Nishikori,
Yep.
And a bunch of other players. Also Ayla Tomljanovic on the WTA Tour plays with this one. So 1620, it says 1618 on it because it's a different cosmetic. It's a juice. What do you think of the juice cosmetic? You are a paint job guy.
Yeah, I like it. You know, it was back when they were making a little bit more interesting paint jobs. I mean, the new Wilson ones are also nice.
Yeah, they're very
But
good.
it's one of the few style of paint jobs that has actually quite a lot of colors on that still look, I think still looks quite nice. You know, it's kind of eye-catching. All the colors fit together. There's not like anything random on it.
No, no.
And it's kind of retro. I also like the old logo. You know,
Yeah, the old logo is
which they're kind of bringing back on the clothing and the bags and stuff, which I think is nice.
It's good. The 1914. It's like it's a classy one. Looks classier. And the racket plays really nice. It's like a 330 strung swing weight. This is Laxon original, which I think is what he used. I'm not sure about that.
I think so. Yes, I think that's what he used. Yeah.
It's popular string on the Pro Tour and 330 swing weight, and it plays like with like a racket both you and I would like and play with. Right?
Yeah, it's super comfortable. I really liked it. Feeling was great. It doesn't give you loads of power, but the strings were quite loose, so the ball was flying anyway. But just the comfort is just the feedback and the feeling is much better than a lot of the rackets that we test these days. You know, there's so much like dead stiff feeling rackets, and this one felt great. Even with the dent string pattern, like the ball was spinning a lot, and the smaller head, but still I could get a lot of movement on the ball. Felt overall great. So it was nice to try or to hit with a more classic frame again, something that had a little bit more sort of feeling in the shots and the strokes. So it was good. The only thing I would say that you can't get away with flicking at the ball with this. You know, you really need to like drive through the ball. As soon as you try to flick at it, it's I think maybe too soft, or the sweet spot perhaps is a little bit smaller than.
Sweet spot is pretty small. Like any outs of center shots get pretty punished, but it's not like it's unstable or anything.
No.
It's just like if you hit a bit off center, you get punished. The ball kind of gets.
So you have to really make sure that you swing through the ball. So it was great.
And it's a 27.25 inch racket, so you do get a little bit help on the racket. Yeah, it's actually the model. So this is the funny thing. So this model is longer normally in retail version. However, I measured this one and it's actually standard length. So I think maybe he gets the one in standard length instead. Which so you don't feel that it's longer or anything, because sometimes with longer rackets you notice something's off, and but then exactly.
Ben, so all in all, it was great. And well, shout out to Edgar Campos who sent this to us. I'm actually going to be changing the grip palette on it, and sent it to us, or sent it to me, and said that we could have a hit with it, test it out. So thanks very much for that. It's always nice to try different frames that we don't normally get to hit with that much, especially such a great looking frame. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day, and
don't forget to play some tennis.
I want to finish this video while you look at some points, highlights, and Nicky's nice technique, to talk a little bit about Wilson Pro Stocks in general, because there are so many models, it's hard to keep track. In my video about Hachano's racket, which is live for members but coming live soon for you guys too. Please join as a member if you want early access and some unique videos. There's the Tour 95, which we talked about in this video, quite popular on WTA and ATP, 27.25 inches, so a little bit longer overall. Another racket that is that length that I've already made a video about is one of the most popular rackets on the WTA Tour, the Steam 100. That's also 27.25 inches standardly, like this. This was the V7 cosmetic of that one. So video already on the channel about that one. You have some very common Pro Stocks. H19 is more like a prestige. That's not so popular anymore. Guy Monfils used to play with that one. H22 is also the Blade Pro. That's very popular. A lot of pros using that one. A little bit more boxy beam than the Blade. Blade 98 is perhaps the most popular Pro Stock. You see that everywhere pretty much. They can then have different generations of blades. Molds are pretty similar, of course, on the Blade side. There's a lot of players still using the Wilson 6195. Dan Evans, for example. Kyle Edmund, I don't know if he's playing anymore, but that was a pretty popular mold. Then some players play with different types of pro staffs. We have Grigor Dimitrov playing with like a pro staff with an 18-18 string pattern, or whether it's 18-17 now. He's been going back and forth. And then obviously Roger with the RF97. Yeah, so there's a lot of different variations for pro players to choose from. And now we will see if the shift becomes like a model where they will try to get some pros on. Obviously, the younger generation will move into to newer models. And now Sakari with the shift is pretty interesting. But then they also have these kind of odd ones that they've tried to get pros to play with. Maybe it's a retail model that didn't quite work out. I have one here that I'm going to make a video about separately, but it's a Wilson Clash 98 Pro, first generation. And this is 22mm beam and 1820 pattern. So quite different from the 24mm beam and 1619 pattern of version 1. So they try different things. The pros might like them, might not, might play with it for a season, might play with it for the rest of the career. So the racket manufacturers need to be pretty flexible and cater to the pro players, and they cannot keep everything available to the public, of course, because then they're going to have endless retail models and it's not going to be financially feasible. So they need to push the ones that are perhaps easier to use in one way or cheaper to produce. But I do hope to bring the Steam 100 or Steam 99 back. I know they had like a Blade team that was the Steam 99 mold. Not sure if they have that anymore. So Wilson, they do have a lot of pro stocks. We usually talk about Head maybe having the most pro player options, but it's not like you don't have a lot of different options also as a Wilson player. Probably for Babolat and Yonex, but I would say there are fewer models overall on those two brands, and the same with Technifiber. So Wilson and Head, they're the ones that with probably the biggest range for the pros to choose from. And then you see certain models pop up over and over again, but there might be slight modifications, slight different specifications on them, of course. So it's all tailored towards each specific player within, you know, a certain range. So a little bit of some musings about pro player rackets from Wilson, and there will be more videos about this topic to come if you like it. So I hope you do. That's it. Have a nice day, and don't forget to play some tennis.